Today, let us see a lecture on site selection and layout of the field for vegetable production. The purpose of this lecture is to familiarize the student with the basic practice required to successfully produce the wide variety of vegetables that can be grown in the area of commercial base. Site selection is the single most important factor in vegetable production and can make a pronounced difference on how well and abundantly vegetable will grow. Planting location has a significant effect on potential production. Before selecting a site for vegetable production, we need to see certain things. That is, first we need to track the shadow in the area of yard at several times throughout the day. We must look for full light nearly all the day for ideal conditions. Next, we need to make sure if the land is flat. A slope is possible to garden. Sloping sides provide the best protection against frost. But then we may want to consider terracing the land, and that can be a lot of work. So flat land assures a proper water flow. Next, we need to create a walking area around the beds so that we can access them from all the sides. These are certain things which we need to keep in our mind before selecting a site for vegetable production. Now let us see with the key factors in vegetable production. Success in vegetable production, whether it is organic or not, is greatly dependent on a well thought out plan. There are certain key factors that should be considered carefully during the planning stage of the farming operation. The first process is site selection, field topography, soil type and quality, water, crop and variety selection, and the market development. Now let us see with site selection. Before planting a vegetable seeds or seedlings, we need to select an appropriate site. Take location, soil, microclimates and irrigations into consideration as we decide where to place the garden. Minimizing the potential production problems, it is essential to all the farming operations. This is especially true for organic producers. One of the most effective means of reducing potential problem is through proper field site selection. 3 points should be considered when selecting a field to produce vegetables: field topography, soil type, water availability, and the quality. Now you can see in this video how the site has been selected for vegetable production. During the process of selecting a site, one should take into account the information regarding natural resource and the specific needs for different areas. The natural resource base must be able to sustain the selected site. To evaluate the farm in its whole, it is necessary to draw a map indicating the farm's topography, boundaries as well as soil and water resource. This is essential information needed in the planning process when selecting a site for a specific purpose. We need to see certain things when the production sites are selected. That is, first we need to see the type of soil, depth of soil and the fertility, drainage of the soil, availability of water, the natural vegetation and the access to the area. Now let us see with the field topography. Before understanding the concept of field topography, let us know what exactly a topography is. Topography is basically a shape or configuration of the land represented on the map by contour lines and relief shading. Thus, field topography refers to the physical characteristics of the overall field site and includes such conditions as contour, soil depth, water, air drainage, and the presence of rock outcropping and trees. These characteristics can have a significant influence on crop production and management. Poorly drained field or those with low areas can become waterlogged during the period of excessive rain. Such conditions can enhance incidence of disease, reduce plant vigor and yield, and under excessive condition cause plant death. Rush areas or abandoned fields and pastures can harbor insects and severe as hosts for plant disease, some of which can be vectored by insects. Rock outcropping and seeds within a field can become impediments to farm implement and increase difficult of land preparation and crop establishment. Site with slope of 1.5% or more should be avoided to prevent excessive erosion problem. An ideal topography for vegetable production is one that is nearly flat to slightly sloping, well drained and free of trees, rocking and low areas. Efficiency of crop maintenance, irrigations and harvest operation is greatly enhanced in field with the type of topography. Now let us see with the soil type. Soil type refers to the physical composition or properties of the soil. Soil basically consists of decomposed mineral matter, that is sand, slits and clay, and decomposed organic matter. Optimum vegetable production is achieved on well-drained sandy loam soil. Although vegetable can be grown on a wide range of soil types, most vegetables are not well adapted to heavy clay soil types. Soils of these tends to have poor aerations and drainage and can restrict root growth. Consequently, these soils should be avoided. Soil is the fundamental source base of all agriculture production system. Unfortunately, too often too little time is spent in selecting soil type and soil management practice. In organic production, soil health is essential. Soil quality influences its ability to provide an optimum media for growth, sustain crop production, maintain environmental quality, and provide for plant and animals' health. Therefore, soil quality and soil health is viewed as the foundation to successful organic production. Consequently, the primary management goal of an organic producer should be sustaining and improving soil quality or wealth over the long term. There are basically three types of soil. The first soil is clay soil. Clay soil particles are very small and compact. Gardens with these type of soil particles does not work well because the air has a hard time getting to the roots. The soil absorbs and holds water and create a drainage problem. This adversely affect the healthy roots and plant growth. Next we have sandy soil. Sandy soil particles are large. The water and nutrient, particularly nitrogen, quickly drain away from the plant root zone. Sandy soil is the opposite of clay soil. Example of sandy soil vegetable is cucumber, watermelon, etc. Now let us see with slit soil. Slit soil is made up of fine particles. Like clay, the soil holds water but does not have good aeration around the roots. Slit soil is essentially transported in water or other liquid and is fine enough to carry it long distance by air in the form of dust. Water is a vital component of vegetable crop production. An adequate water supply is essential to maximize both quality and crop yield for a given date. It is also important management tool enhancing crop establishment, chemical weed control in harvesting of fruit vegetables. However, water has to be applied at the correct time in sufficient quantities but without waste and with sympathy for the environment as a whole. Water is the lifeblood of vegetable production. Vegetable crops generally requires more total water and more frequent irrigation than most other agronomics crops. Few vegetables can be grown successfully under dry land conditions in most areas like Texas. Even in East Texas, where 45 plus of rainfall occurs annually, crop can experience period of drought stress. Therefore, only field that has easy access to an abundant water source should be considered for vegetable production. The water source should have the capability to provide the volume requirement for the maximum needs of the highest water using crop to the plants. Water quality is equally as important as water volume in selecting a field site water resource. Water source for getting irrigation should contain less than 400 ppm soluble salt. Therefore, avoid water source containing high level of toxic elements such as sodium, boron or aluminum. Crop and variety selection. A factor equal to the importance of good soil health to successful implementation of the organic production concept is crop and variety selection. Pest of all types occurs in abundance in most area of Texas. However, The greatest limiting factor to successful vegetable production from the pest standpoint is the high incidence of disease outbreaks. With the reduced number of tools to combat pest availability in the organic production arsenal as compared to conventional production, even greater importance is placed on the use of resistance crops and varieties as the primary means of pest control. Now let us see with the development of market. The fact that most vegetable crops are highly perishable, the need to develop markets for produce should be established prior to planting the crops. This is even more important for organically produced vegetables due to their limited market status. For whatever the reason one chooses to commercially produce vegetables organically, profitability is the driving force that keeps him in business. To achieve profitability, a producer must have a well thought of production and marketing plan based on sound scientific and business principles. Most startup vegetables operations generally fail due to the lack of market development and marketing skills. Consequently, a potential grower cannot spend too much time in a developing production and marketing plan. Commercial vegetable production should always be viewed as a business first and then farming enterprise secondly. Personal views or beliefs are fine, but establishing a business based on consumer preference and demand make for a more successful undertaking. In developing a sound marketing plan, the following questions should be answered. That is, what crops should I grow? How much of these crops should I produce? To whom or where shall I sell the produce that I will grow? How much real demand is there for the crops I am considering? How much will it cost me to produce and market these crops? What, if any, are the size of the market window for these crops? What are the risks associated with the production of these crops? Now let us see the different types of field used for vegetable cropping. When we are cropping the vegetables, we need to see the different types of field which is to be used. Under this we have square field, rectangular field, hexagonal, triangle and diagonal. Square field. In square field, trees are planted on each corner of the square, but the planting distance may vary. The layout of these field can be easily made. Triangle field. In this field, vegetables are planted as similar to square field, but the plants in the second, fourth and sixth row are alternative rows. Rectangular field. This field is as similar as square field. The difference is the layout. Rectangular field is best for vegetable production as compared to other fields. Hexagonal field. In this field, vegetable crops are planted in each corner of equilateral triangle. In this way, we can plant 6 trees in the corner and the 7th one in the middle of the field. Planting distance must be same for hexagonal field. Next we have diagonal field. In diagonal field, it is completely different from other field as the layout is double as compared to square field. That's all for today. Thank you.